All right, ladies and joins, we are ready. So I'm just going to put this here so you can see roughly what it is that I'm doing, hopefully. Let me just check. Yes. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see the particular area that I am working on. And we are good to go. So I have got my glue gun here. It is heating up. We're going to take these guys. Now, what I've done is I've cut them from some rubber tubing. I'll show you that. So this is rubber tubing. It's about a 1/2 inch diameter. And what I've done is cut these guys off right here. But you'll notice there's a chunk missing, and the reason is it was too fat to fit around this. This is not a 1/4 inch. This is about a 1/3 of an inch. Sorry, a 1/3 of an inch. And the tubing's 1/2 inch. So I cut a 1/3 of it off so that I can make it fit. And we're there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this real quick, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about how to make this happen on your boat. So what I've done here is I've just placed this in place and pushed it up to the point where this is at the tension I wanted it. Now we're going to take the exact same method, and I'm going to double check my tensions here and make sure that they're right. If you find it's not right, you just pull up on the mast and pull back on the boom until you get it dialed in. And in this case, all we're worried about is the mast itself. The boom can be adjusted separately after. So here we go. Take that, and I want it locked in place. So now I'm going to unplug my glue gun glue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip a bead of this stuff right up underneath. And the reason is, with the bead of glue up under there, now I'm not going all the way around. I don't want to interfere with the mast, okay? What I mean by that is the boom has to swing over. And I don't want to interfere with that in any way, shape, or form. All I want to do is put a little glue gun glue under these so that they don't move. And now we're going to take all of our little, call them my Christmas tree decorations. It's my spider webs that you get from the glue. That happens a lot, so you just go through it and get rid of the spider webs. Now, normally I would say smooth this out, but in this case I don't want to smooth it. I just want to make it so it doesn't drip, because I want to leave a nice big blob underneath the fitting we've made so that it is able to do this correctly. What I mean by that is, if I just smear the glue on and I make a very thin glue layer, it won't stay there. Eventually, this could be pushed past it, enough pressure here, and it will pop this. However, if I make a nice bubble of glue gun glue under here and under here like I have, this is now going to be rock solid. It's not going anywhere. So that's one part of this video. For the other portion, I wanted to show you guys a couple of things here. Now, I mentioned at one point that I had craft wire, and I thought I had lost it. In fact, I didn't. I have one more like this, and it's gold. This is okay. This is the silver one. This is the one I was hoping to find. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of this craft wire and how exactly we're going to use it on the boat. I'm also going to show you this stuff, electrical wire. This is resistance wire. It's 1 amp resistance, but it's good, strong stuff. It's a little thicker gauge than the craft wire. And it's 22 gauge. The craft wire is much, much thinner, about half this thickness. And so, what I will say there is that with this setup, you can use either kind of wire. It really won't matter. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some of this wire right here, and we're going to drive it through this frame that I have here. Okay, and you're going to see that it's going to pop out the back end. And now we have a bunch of wire here. We're going to take some of this wire, we're going to wrap it, and as I'm wrapping it, I'm going to hit it with some of this glue gun glue, just to hold its position. And now we're going to snip off the excess wire, like so. Tuck the rest of it up into that glue gun glue so that it holds it in place, and we have a nice clean setup. Now we're going to take this wire under a fair bit of tension, guys. I'm going to pass it under here, and I'm going to make it as tight as I humanly can without snapping it, guys. So we're going to wrap it around a bunch of times. We're going to slide some glue gun glue onto it to hold it because we do not want this coming loose, guys. Now we're going to snip the wire. Now before that glue dries, I'm going to hit this side and do the exact same thing and try and get it done quickly. There we go. That's pretty quick. Now we wrap this. Just spin it 3 or 4 times, like so. Hit it with the glue gun glue, like so. Snip off the excess. And now, same thing. We're going to run it all the way to the bow of the ship and mount it off the same location here at the front. Okay, so we're going to put this pretty tight. And I'm just going to rock it in here nice and tight as I can. Now, the glue gun glue is actually helping with that because it'll kind of hold it in place while I'm busy here. Now that's done. Now we snip that line. Now at this point, we're going to talk about sail layout. So now that I have these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip these when this is dry and locked in. I'm going to cut these off the standoffs. Originally, I was just putting them on there so that I could make the sail a little easier. And it does make making your sails a ton easier, guys. So now that this is done, and I actually have this line installed, this sail will actually get sewed around this line, like you're seeing here. And you're going to notice I'm now pulling out some of the tension from this line. Well, this is what I was talking about, guys. You want to be able to pull this tension. So I left a little extra room here. And I've encouraged you to do the same on your sail, but it's so that I can sew this together. And once I've done this, and I've sewed this line inside, let me just show you. Once I've sewed this line in, I'm going to wrap it around the back edge, and then sew it all in. Then we're going to snip this line, add a rope. We're going to add some of the wire right here, where we've built this up, and it's all tough, because we built it up. We're going to put a wire there. And once this is all wrapped around and sewed in place, once this is all wrapped around the wire and sewed in place, we snip these lines and it'll hold itself in place. Not the back line, just the front line. And then we tie a rope to the front line, run it around here like a pulley, and now we can pull on it and it'll slide this whole sail back. We do the same thing at the other side. Now the problem here lies, once you're done this, what do? And so what I will say to you is once you've done this portion of it and you have your rigging lines installed here, it's time to consider whether or not you want to do a traveler. If you're doing a single sail with a traveler, run it all the way across, put a standoff on each side, run your wire across, and it doesn't really matter what kind of wire you use as long as it's strong enough to do the job. That being said, this video is starting to get a little bit long. It's already past 8 minutes. So now we're prepared to set up our rigging. I've given you an idea of how to go about it. The next video will show this all finished, and I will be testing. And like I said, we've got little flaps here, right? So once we tie these on, and see the little fold out? Once I fold that lip out and tight the sail up, it'll help tension the sails. Bottom line, you can see it's still not that tight, but when that line's installed, it will be. That being said, I could take a line from the mast top down the side here and up to the tip of the mast on each side, and then another one pulling down towards the bow. But I don't like doing that because it compromises the tension of these sails. And doing it the way I do it, I can adjust them. So now that I've got these finalized and they're locked in hard enough I can pick up the boat and not worry about the moving, I can still move the boom because I didn't interfere with its ability to travel. So the next step will be to finish the rigging, and I'll show you guys what it's like when it's done. When all the rigging is done, I will show you guys another test in the tub and show you why we have it this way and why in certain situations you would need to close the larger forward sail. But I've talked about it before, but this will be an actual demonstration of that and showing you how all this works. Once that's finished, it'll be done. There really won't be anything left to do. I'm not going to bother doing a video, I don't think, to install the gear RC people already know.